Hello, welcome to this video. Google Trends at trends.google.com is a reference in many different domains to analyze if a topic is trending or not, especially compared to other topics. Without a subscription, you normally look at the Explore screen, add topics, and get a visual impression of what is trending and what is not. But it is not easy to do this regularly on a large number of topics or keywords. So I will now show you how you can get more workable data in seconds. First, go to thomasmore.org. Then click on Google Trends. You can then select up to 5 keywords. For example, I choose to compare USA, Germany, Russia, China, and Argentina. Then I press Search, and then the data is collected from Google Trends and will appear below. It displays the topics or keywords that you selected. It will also display the last value of the trend, also the maximum value on the last 5 years, the minimum value on the last 5 years, the average value on the last 5 years, the average value on the last year, the average value on the last 6 weeks. Comparing the different averages can give you an idea of a trend. The keyword includes a link that will open the Google Trends page. You can save the data into a file, press the download button, and the data is saved in a CSV or a comma-separated file. In the rest of this video, I will show you how you can install this tool inside your own environment. And I will also explain to you the code behind the scene, in case you want to develop something similar or learn about the underlying technology, Python, Flask, and APIs. So we'll now see how you can replicate the tool locally on your own machine. First, connect to GitHub with the link in the description. Then, download the code by clicking Code and then Download Zip. Open the zip. Select the directory that is inside the zip. Copy it and paste the directory somewhere on your computer. For example, I choose my desktop and then test. I then paste the new directory in the select location. The next step is to get this new program to run on your machine. For this, we need to install a few prerequisites and then launch the application. Here are the prerequisites. Main requirement is Python. If you do not have Python on your machine, follow the instruction that I will give in the description below. Then open a command prompt, go to the directory in which you copied the tool, check your version of Python by typing python-version. The version should be equal or higher than 3.6. If a version is lower, you should upgrade your Python install. If a system says that Python is not found, then you can try with Python and the number 3. This will apply after to all the comments. Type python-mvenv space venv. This creates what is called a virtual environment. It is not mandatory but highly recommended. A virtual environment will isolate the version of Python and libraries for the given program. Then type venv/script/activate. That should display a venv text at the beginning of the row. Now that we have Python and a virtual environment, we have to install a few libraries that the program will use. Type pip install flask, flask_course, flask_session, matplotlib, pytrends. If you do not get any error, you are ready to run your Google Trends downloader. If you get some error, leave a comment and I will try to help you. Once you have started your application with Python space app.py, you have the URL displayed below. So copy this URL and open this URL in a browser. And you have now your Google Trends downloader. and you can save the data into a file. I will now go through the code. The code is constituted of two files. First, app.py contains the logic and the web application using Flask, and index.html in the templates directory. The index.html file creates a basic HTML structure. The head contains a link to Bootstrap CDN to get default styling for the display. Index.html has a form that contains fields to select the topics or keywords, a button to request the data from Google Trends, a second button to download the results into a file. There is also a table to contain the results. First the headers, then the data. Notice the results word. This is the link with the Python code in app.py that actually retrieves the data from Google Trends. The scripts at the bottom of the body are required for the Bootstrap styling. Let's now look at the app.py file. First, we have to import the necessary libraries. Pytrends is a library specific to Google Trends. We set up a few variables like the number of weeks for the various averages. The average numbers are in weeks. App equals Flask instantiates the Flask application. We set up Flask cores to allow accessing the API from another machine or port. And we use Flask session to avoid a pop-up message for resubmission. The function Google data sets the values to be returned. First, it calculates the averages, and then set the values to be returned into a Python dictionary. The dictionary is then returned. Extract is the main function. It splits the list of keywords requested. It reduces the number of keywords that can be requested. It builds the Google Trends request. It retrieves the interest over time data from Google Trends. It then builds the set of results and then returns the results. The function API is the API endpoint that you can use to connect from another machine or another port. Reads the request, calls the extract function, and returns the results. The slash function is the entry point for the web interface that we saw in index.html. If a user selects extract in index.html, we call the extract function. If a user presses the download button, we create the headers for a CSV file. We retrieve the results from Flask session. This is set in the redirect section below. We create the CSV data. We create the downloadable file structure, and we return it. The redirect section is there to avoid a form resubmission pop-up. It saves the results into Flask session. Finally, the render section returns the index.html page, including the results. Now that all the code is there, we need to start the Flask web server with the command app.run. So here it is, how to retrieve data from Google Trends. I hope you found this interesting, and I would be very happy if you could let me some comments below on how I can improve. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.